Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and you're very welcome to episode 8 of the Hope Show live stream on Monday nights dedicated to pop culture, collectibles, movies, TV, all that kind of stuff. Got a few guests behind here, some avid 1/6 scale collectors. Tonight we're going to be discussing The Flash, basically non-spoiler discussion on The Flash. So if you have not seen it yet, and you're a little bit worried that we're going to spoil it, you're in safe hands. We are not going to spoil it on you. So it'll be a non-spoiler kind of first impressions after seeing the movie. Two of the guests aren't going to spoil it anyway because they haven't seen it, so they're safe as houses. And then myself and two other people have seen it, but yeah, we won't spoil it either. We're also going to be taking a look at IG-12 and also maybe just touching on that Supergirl tease that they put up last week, which should have dropped by now, to be quite honest. Right, so bring the guests in and we'll see what's going on. We've got Mike L, we've got Trevor, the 1/6 shooter, and we have Alan, the 6 scale gallery. How you doing, gentlemen? You good?
Yes.
Very good.
They're a lively bunch.
Doing well.
Very good. It's great. What a great day.
Yeah. Yes.
Fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, I thought these Americans are supposed to be real. Everything's awesome, you know.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's like that Lego song. You know, Lego.
That's right.
The first Lego movie.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah. Don't sing it.
That's a pretty good song. No.
You're going to do barbershop?
No. Yeah, look, we'll address the chat really quickly and we'll get the show on the road, conscious of people's time. All right, so who do we have in the chat? We have Boba Fettuccini, we've got Johnny Sins, we've got Michael the 12-inch Moose Stream, happy and respectful Juneteenth community of collectors. Great to have you here. We got Tragedy Tales, we got Ryanair, we have Ryan Smith, channel member, and also, sorry, Michael as well. Moose Stream is a channel member, and so is Boba Fettuccini. All right, well, they're probably going to cancel their memberships now, but you have been shouted out, my friends. You have been shouted out. We have Boba Fettuccini. How we all doing? Let's kick the like button's arse. You see, I was backstage, right, and I said to the three lads, I was like, guys, I watch the P's and Q's. It'll keep it family friendly, and then Boba Fettuccini just comes in here and
not even 2 minutes in.
Yeah, and I love to swear. I'm good at it, but I just gotta dial it back a bit. Yeah, for now. So we got Joker J, working hard, but I'll be listening. I love when people are working and they're listening. It's almost like you're getting paid to listen to people talk about 1/6 scale collecting. That's a really good job. You work from home, Joker J? You don't have to give us your exact location or social security number or address or anything. Just you work from home. We've Chuli as well, channel member. Great to see you in the chat as usual, Chuli. We have Ryan Smith says, I bet you love The Flash. Oh, we are going to have a chat. Friday, there's actually a spoiler discussion. I think it's on this channel with Big Brother 1/6 and a bunch of others, but this is the non-spoiler discussion. Hopefully they update the Affleck Batman Hot Toys from The Flash. Yeah, I'm not so sure on that one. So we'll keep it spoiler free, but I'm not so sure on that one. We've got Brandon Salad. How you doing, Brandon? Great to see you here. Channel member. We've got Chuli giving a direct order. Smash the like button. We got Brandon Altman. I think we're pretty much up to date in the chat. So thank you very much to everyone on the panel, everyone who is watching now, and all the channel members, all troopers and commanders. Speaking of, whoa, we got a late entry here. El Profesoro, he knew the N1 wasn't coming. I was Team Mario from day one.
I'm just going to glom onto that because I've been saying it in every chat.
He keeps his beard.
Not happening.
Yeah, he keeps the beard. Well, he was never going to shave that beard.
I know.
That's like destroying the Mona Lisa. You know what I mean? It's just it's a work of art. So yeah, really quickly, just gonna acknowledge the support that we've got from the channel members. We we've actually got channel members on the panel as well. So shout out to the troopers. We got Stephen Rinks, we got Mike, we got Payden23, we got Chudi who's in the chat, Bendu Windu, Collector Joey, Ryan Smith who's in the chat, and then the commanders we have Alan, who is right here in the panel, the 6 Scale Gallery. If you haven't checked them out on YouTube and on Instagram, please go to @the 6 Scale Gallery. You can thank me later. Some of the photography is just amazing. Actually, all the photography is just amazing. We've got X-Man Supreme, we got Michael the 12-inch Moose Stream, we got Philip the Fool, Keith the 6 Scale Padawan, fellow Irishman, Mark Mitchell, William Owens, Brandon Salad, who's here with us as well, Phil, Empire Strikes Again, Collecting Weekly, they're a big deal, people know them, and we got Boba Fettuccini who is with us as well. I'm not going to go into the new videos now. I'm going to leave that to later on and get a bit more of a flow going here, and we'll go straight into talking about the Supergirl tease, if that's all right. We won't dwell on it too much. It has been spoken about before, but I'm just I do want to just acknowledge it seems relevant. So anyone want to throw out initial thoughts when they saw this?
Hard not to dwell on this, honestly. Yeah, I'm interested. I have not seen the movie, but from what I've heard and what I've seen in the previews, this looks like it's going to be cool. Probably not gonna be for me. I don't know. Maybe the movie will change my mind, but that's interesting. Like, this is about time we had something, new for a Superman figure. You know what I mean, or super person figure anyway. So I'm interested to see what it looks like.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, me too. As someone who has seen the movie, if I was a DC collector, I'd be even more interested. In other words, the movie will not put you off. If you're on the fence, it will put you over the. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, she did it. Her performance, I think, with what she was given, was fantastic. And
that's what I've been hearing. Yeah, cool.
Yep, and I think the suit looked excellent. Shane, I don't know what you think, but I think it looked great. I know some people wanted the skirt and a different look, but I think this was great.
I think it ties it in nicely to obviously the Snyder design philosophy, doesn't it?
They look like they're cut from the same cloth, literally.
Literally, same Kryptonian cloth. I like the guys, Trevor especially. I've not seen the film, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it looks like she's going to be a standout. So yeah, and as Trevor said, it's nice to see something a little bit different. Do you know what I mean? It's not another Henry Cavill or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's a brand new super person, which is quite nice.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go for it.
There's also a beautiful pattern on the inside of the cape that I noticed during the film, and it's nice to see that is represented in the figure as well. You can see that between her arm and her body there.
Yeah,
really cool. And that's a unique thing. Cavill didn't have that. So.
Nice. Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
I thought she was a standout as well. I mean, there are literally 3 things I liked about the movie. If I was to narrow it all down, you can. I could nitpick and said, this particular scene was really, really good, whatever. I've narrowed it down to 3 things that I like about it, and she was one of the 3. I find sometimes, careful how I phrase this, I find sometimes with female characters, they tend to force the strong female character into certain scripts and dialogue and actresses or character, and does not work at all. It's like it's just not believable. Now I'll always go back and I'll die in the sword. I will always go back to Sigourney Weaver in Alien, or Linda Hamilton's portrayal of Sarah Connor in T2, or Michonne in the early the early seasons of The Walking Dead. It did not matter their gender. It did not matter whether they were male or female. I saw them as bloody good characters, but they are, in my opinion, the blueprint of some very, very strong female characters. Now I was worried that this one, it might be a bit forced and not come off right, but I thought it was very, very well done. The dialogue, they didn't have much dialogue here. Like the dialogue, again, I don't want to go into spoilers, but she what she says is enough, and what she does is enough. If that makes sense.
That's key. The writing is key. Yeah, the writing is key.
This is it. Yeah, like there's no like grandiose speeches. It's just like You'll know when you see it. I think less is more, and I thought the actress did a great job. She looks Kryptonian. She could be,
badass.
yeah, she could be Cavill's cousin. Like, you know, it's the kind of something about the darkness of the hair around the eyes, whatever. Like, I know that's not. She's obviously of like Latino heritage, I think. So she technically couldn't, like, but she yeah. So but like, she's got the dark features, the dark hair, and even something around her eyes, whatever. There's something. She kind of looks Kryptonian as well.
Similar.
I love the look. I love that it's not a blonde with the skirt. You know,
the skirt wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
This whole like
the skirt is like we gotta. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
the comic books.
Man,
sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
I like, you know, I mean, like any kid growing up, you know, you like seeing like whatever women and. But I mean, like we've grown past like you know there's no reason to have a midriff open superhero costume, you know, at this point. Like, if a man is going to wear a full, you know, costume, like the women, why would they wear short shorts
like
or, you know what I mean? Like, or just a brassiere when, you know, like anybody's going to, you know, if you're not completely bulletproof, like that's the place you want to protect, you know what I mean?
I'd also say that
like,
she doesn't lose an ounce of sex appeal if that's what we're kind of talking about here.
Yeah.
She looks fantastic in this suit. And, you know.
She is stunning. She's a very attractive woman. But the I remember, I know someone was talking about that as well, and like the someone mentioned like they'd like the collar to come down lower or whatever. Like, how would you feel if Henry Cavill's Superman walked out and he had a V-neck? Like,
yeah, I know. Exactly.
Like, it just looks
a V-neck
stupid.
and a mustache. That would really.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I think the suit
star.
design was very, very, very cool, and I like actually the way it comes up that bit higher. I think it's a different take on it. I don't think the skirt will ever work on this because it's like certain things that were good in a comic, and all respect to the source material, should stay in a comic. Not direct lifts a lot of the time simply do not work. Some things work in a comic that won't work in live action. Some things live action won't work in a comic. Some things that work on a movie won't work on a TV show. Like it's
she looks more
suppose, like, I was to say practically as well. Obviously, a lot of it is CG, but you know, if you're an actress and she's like flying around on like a gimbal or something, it's just a lot more practical if they don't have to CG stuff out, or do you know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Unless they want the film to be R-rated,
I'm sure that version exists. I'm sure we could.
That probably it more than likely does.
So one thing I wanted to add, Shane, is like just
to
touch on what you said, is that like we've got a Colombian woman playing this role, and it's an example of how the rising tide can lift all ships situation. So we have what I think is like great representation without bringing anyone else down. So like everyone got to shine, and I think that was really cool. You know, I don't think you have to sacrifice someone else to represent others, and I think they did that wonderfully in this.
The thing is, like, when it comes to representation and inclusion, like I literally don't care if someone is like, you know, if someone is black or white or Asian or Hispanic. I don't care about the gender. I don't care about the sexuality. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Same.
Just give me a good character and make it work on screen. It's like that. That's what, like, all that other stuff, that's an afterthought. Like, it should be, if it works, it works. Now, certain things are just not going to work. Certain things are not going to work. Like, you know, I mean, say like James Bond. James Bond is written as a white Englishman. That's what he should be. Now look, I'm Irish. I'd love James Bond as Irish, but I'd be opposed to it because he's a white Englishman. That's the way it should be. That's, you know, like certain things. It sounds like I've just contradicted myself, but I haven't really. I'm just saying that, like, that I did particularly appreciate this character.
I kind of wouldn't mind seeing Idris Elba, though. You know what I mean? Like,
that would be cool. But would you want to see an Italian guy from Jersey play Bond?
No. There's. I mean, he's the, you know, like, you know.
I know what you mean.
There's certain things. There's certain standards that you have to maintain. But I mean, there was one point they were talking about doing. I mean, a different. You know, I know we're getting off the tangent, but a 00 agent that's a woman. I'd love to see a movie. I like the woman who was in the last movie with James Bond. I can't remember her name or whatever, but that would be cool. But not. It can't. You're not. Can't be Jane Bond. You know what I mean?
Because it's like, you know, Bond is, you know, a biological male. he is a white English guy, and that's just the way the character was written. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but like if there was, could it be like a 00 agent? Could be like someone else who's like in the same, like another kind of a spin-off from MI6. I think that might work. Maybe a, you know, a female character. I know there's a lot of talk about Idris Elba, and I've been a fan from Idris Elba since the Stringer Bell days back in The Wire. Like, you know, he's just everything he does is good. Like, you know, but yeah, my closing thoughts on this here, again, I don't want to give anything away, but there's three things I liked about the movie. I kind of categorized them, but like, she is one of them. I just thought she not only looked the part, but the lines she was given, she delivered well. And it made me believe that she was like, you know, she's not from around here. Like, you know, she's like she's a Kryptonian, she's otherworldly, and I thought they did a good job. And I actually personally think the suit is quite good. Does anyone else want to chime in on that, or we move on?
Now, again, having not seen it, just seeing the clips, I mean, the other thing that you're talking about, pulling off, you don't have a lot of lines. You got to do that visually with, you know, facial characteristics and emotions and stuff like that. So, I mean, anybody who can do that's a good actress. You know what I mean? If you pulled that off with few lines and people like really believe that you this powerful being from another planet, it's cool. It's good.
Yeah,
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the head sculpt as well, to see what they do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully if they're going to try the rooted hair, Trevor will not be happy because after today,
well, then I'll have to buy it, and I'm not going to be. No, I won't have to buy it.
That Bo-Katan tease, right? You're very similar cut.
Yeah,
very similar
we'll
cut.
get to that.
Yeah,
the not so rooted hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that like the nylon hair? You can see.
I don't think so. No. I think that's.
No?
I think that's actually. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get to it, but I actually think that's wool hair. I mean, that looks like it's been styled, and it looks good. I just don't understand why. Why? Hot Toys. Why?
We got one of your buddies, the Don Prime, in the building. He's a member of the Geeking Out crew. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I'm pretty sure. Like, I must have been going back to 2020. I was watching Geeking Out, and Don Prime was there, and he was wearing an Irish rugby jersey, and it was one going back from a few years ago. And I said, you know, I'm Irish, and he was like, oh yeah, I got this in Shannon. Shannon is the town where I grew up.
Oh wow.
And there's an airport there, and I think Don served. Would that be right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think maybe a lot of times we'd be going on holidays and we'd see a bunch of these like American soldiers coming in and stuff like that. So it's funny how he was wearing like a jersey that he bought in my town. Yeah. So shout out to Don Prime. We got Mike Fela. I don't know, is this Mike now? I don't see an exclamation mark. I'm a bit worried. I might block this person. He's an imposter. I'm sure there are women who would love Henry Cavill in a V-neck, having a similar physique. I get the same. Okay, I actually stand corrected on that. Yeah, maybe there's some women or men out there who would love to see Henry Cavill in a V-neck. You know, I stand corrected.
I mean,
in fairness, there were no shortage of him shirtless, and
I was just going to say,
or shirtless, and like there's a lot of
or tight T-shirts or
male.
You get plenty of that.
So I don't collect DC, but this one might be my first. Need to see the head sculpts to be sure, though. Okay. So we got Josh in the building as well. And yeah, sure enough, he bought it in the airport. I'm also a dual citizen of Ireland. Ah, good stuff. Must get a pint the next time you're back in the Emerald Isle.
Oh,
and another one. Look what I've started. I've started a cult. Everyone, yeah, Irish power. Yeah. All right. Thanks very much. Massive shout out to the people in the chat and engagement, all the troopers and commanders. There is a link there if you want to consider channel membership, and all the perks and stuff are in the community tab. Very much appreciated. So we're gonna just switch gears and go in and take a look at IG-12. I love how original this name is. It's I thought maybe, you know, robot policeman or something, that third party version of the T1000.
Yeah.
Why didn't they call it the T1001 or the T2000? I thought the T2000 would be a bit on the nose, you know. you know, but
Liquid Metal Cop or something. Do you know what I mean? Like
robot policeman or something they went for.
Happy Killer Droid.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
It's like a third party name.
Yeah. Liquid Death. Okay, so I suppose we're just going to zoom in on this first. We'll just go outline like what it comes with first, and then I'll let you just have your takes on it. This was an unusual, I'm not even going to give my opinion. I'm just going to outline what's here. So IG-12 was announced today, went up for pre-order, as seen in Mandalorian Season 3. We've had a bit of a lack of Mandalorian. There's been a Mandalorian breather anyway. I think people who are completing the line or trying to complete the line probably took a nice breather over the last few weeks. But there's two different SKUs. It's very hard to say a lot of these words now that I use in Shit Collector say without smiling. There's the regular version, which comes with everything you see here, apart from this brown box here. And in the brown box, you have another Grogu with a hover pram. And then the unique thing, which I think threw a lot of people, not these Anzillions, I think they're called, but the overheated heavy Mandalorian gun. The Bo-Katan shoulder plate, which she got in Season 3, so the original Bo-Katan 1.0 wouldn't have that. The shield, which she also had in Season 3, but not in Season 2. A mouse droid, which is a nice little piece that could be paired with various different, I suppose, sections or IPs, whatever you want to call them in the Star Wars lore, whether it's original trilogy or so on. This electronic electro bat or whatever it's called, baton, the jetpack, and this shield, which looks like a shield anyway, that came with those droids that Gideon had. It's fairly obvious here that these things are meant for other figures, and what I find unusual is that I thought, okay, they're just going to get this and put this out there to get people to buy yet another Grogu, when maybe what they really want is the accessories. But then the other part of me says, well, why did they do IG-12 on its own as well then? And then another part of me says, well, they're already doing a heavy Mando too, but then again, it doesn't come with the overheating blaster. So a lot of thoughts on this one. So before we go looking at photos there, Mike, what do you think? What's your opinion on this one? Like, why did they do this?
Well, first of all, it's a beautiful looking figure. I mean, but why did they do this? They definitely did this to build more value in this second SKU for sure. The Bo-Katan having the pauldron is interesting, because does that mean that the one they release, assuming they do release one, won't have that? Which would be odd. Or are they giving you that to put on your old one as an option? I don't know. Some of these the shield is a little strange to me. It's just a weird release. I'm just kind of taking this all in right now, Shane, because I saw it last night, but I didn't really get to think too much about it. I think for me, the highlight are the mechanic, little mechanics. I forget their names. You just mentioned it. But,
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I pronounce it Anzillion.
Anzillion. Those are the highlights for me.
The Babu Freaks.
The Babu Freaks. Yeah, Babu Freaks cousins are what I think are the biggest appeal if I were to get this. For me, I have an IG-11 and I'm happy with that. I don't necessarily need the 12.
You don't need the babysitter.
No. I like the warrior droid.
He's not even the babysitter. He's the pram.
Yeah,
he's the pram.
Yeah,
the interactive pram.
This talks as well, doesn't it? Is a
well, yes and no.
Yes.
Full-blown conversations. It's like a built-in Siri.
It's the kind of thing you want to have on your desk at work, and somebody just walks in and asks you a question.
Yes,
No.
Someone is definitely going to do that. No question.
Yeah.
No question. What do you think, Trevor? You have any interest in this, or what do you think their logic was?
This didn't even last an episode. This thing, it was not even the full episode before it was destroyed. So stuff like that for me, it's not necessary. The Grogu's, it's like collecting Hummels now at this point. Like, I don't need another Grogu. I need an articulated Grogu is what I would like, that I could put all these heads on. I have been saying for years, I don't know why Hot Toys doesn't release like accessory packs, like a different sculpt with a different expression on it, or if you're going to give me eventually another Bo-Katan from season 3, which was hardly changed except for this, which everybody had out as a third-party add-on, the day after the show aired, basically.
Is that the... Hold it up again there. Is that the... Is this the 3D printed one?
Yep. It looks great.
Yeah.
So I don't need to pay for that. The shield I could care less about. I wouldn't mind having it, I suppose. But I'm still embiggened here.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry.
Because I forget what else is coming with this.
Yeah.
But I've been saying, like, why wouldn't you just release this as like a pack? Like, if this pack, I don't really need another pram for Grogu, but whatever, I'll take it. I would buy that. I would buy the gun. I would buy all the pieces. I have a mouse droid, but yeah, the Babu Frick little dudes are cute. That'd be fun to have for photos and stuff. But I'm not paying for this full figure just to get this thing. And this is probably going to be what, $330? I'm guessing $350 for all of this. Most likely, I don't know.
I heard it was going to be $370.
Oh, oof.
And I dismissed it and went, no, that can't be true. So I'm hoping that's nonsense.
Yeah.
The thing about those Ancillions, they originated in the sequel.
Yeah.
The sequel trilogy, and everything from the sequel trilogy is a very, 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 very easy pass for me. Like, do you know? So I know they're small and cute, like, but it's like.
I did happen to like Babu Frick, though. He was one of the few things I liked in the second. The second.
It's probably the most memorable thing of the whole sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
he's a guilty pleasure for me.
They were cute, but they weren't annoying in here. You know what I mean? They were a fun little comic relief.
Yeah.
But not to the point of being like, oh, not these guys again.
And they had a bit of attitude as well. Like, do you know, he might sound all cute, but he's cursing you out of it. Definitely. So Alan, do you think, like, do you think they've done this deluxe pack because they're not doing any figures from Mandalorian season 4? Do you think Howie's kind of went, hasn't been great? No,
I did think that. When I saw the images on Facebook this morning, I was really confused as to why there was like images of Bo-Katan in there. I was like, what is it? I think because obviously they break up the album in different posts sometimes, and I was just like, what was going on? And then obviously it started to click that like you get all of these accessories with it as well, which was super random to me. I was like, oh, okay. But when you start like thinking about it, I was like, oh, you know, the Mandalorian season 3 didn't do that great. Maybe they're just trying to get all this stuff out there and just. But then, you know, there's the tease of the rooted hair Bo-Katan. I was like, well, obviously that must be coming at some point.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and like I'm sure was there a shot of Mando in there at some point as well? I was like, is that a new Mando? I couldn't tell.
I didn't have a good enough look at it to see.
Yeah, I didn't have a proper good look. But it's very odd. You know, not many people, I don't know, jive well with IG-12. I don't think so. I don't know if they've just thought, you know, what can we do to just make this as desirable as possible? And you know, people saying, oh, I just want the was it Anzellans or Anzillians? I just want those. It's like, well, you know, unless someone's going to part them out, you're going to have to buy IG-12. So, you know,
you do get one, don't you? You do get one.
You get one, or do you get 3?
Yeah. You get one with IG-12, but if you buy the accessory pack, I think you get 3 in total.
Oh, right, okay. So does the IG pack come? The accessory pack comes separately? Can you buy that separately?
Nope.
No, you either buy IG-12 with 1 zillion, or you buy everything on the screen here.
Okay.
I'm looking at it now on Sideshow. There's a $96 difference between this collector and the accessory pack.
What are the two prices?
So it's $264 and $360.
$360, man. Yep.
Wow.
There's a smell
you
off
get
like
a lot of
this should have been an accessory pack, but then changed your mind.
If you're going to give me that, give me the shield for the Heavy Mando too that I didn't get the last time. And, you know, things like that. Like, give me Axe Wove's head sculpt. That would be great. Like, you know what I mean? If you're going to give me everything, give me everything. Man.
Yeah.
An accessory pack. Here's the guy's face.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, NECA does that all the time.
Yeah.
They have great accessory packs.
I like head packs, man.
I would as well. I'd love, as Trevor was saying before, just accessory packs. Things that didn't come with a particular release. You know, just get some accessories out there, like a new head sculpt. I'd love that.
Wouldn't you pay $150? Like if they gave you Bo-Katan with rooted hair and the shield and the pauldron for $150, I bet a lot of people would buy that. You know,
I think
not
they would.
Everybody, but I think think a lot of people would buy it because it's going to cost you. I'm going to get it rooted. I'm going to get the one I got rooted, and that's going to cost probably about that, if not a little more. So
yeah, well, a sculpt on eBay can easily set you back about $100, like potentially.
Right.
You know,
lightsabers. That would be a gold mine. Lightsabers, USB lightsabers. Upgrade all your figures.
Yeah.
They are missing a trick, I think. But it was all really confusing to me. I was just like, oh, okay, it's very odd.
It's just weird. It's a weird figure to include all this stuff with. It's just
Yeah.
strange.
Like I did love the sequence in season 3 with Mando in the corridor, and he was taking out all the guards and like trying to piece together, like they get some weapons and shit. And I just think that they just look cheap. Not like they don't. The accessories, the Mando accessories, the white shield and the jetpack and things. I just think they just don't. I don't like them on Mando. I think they just look a bit. It just takes the look away.
It looks like the only reason he picked them up is to sell merchandise.
Exactly.
Like that is 100% what that's what IG-12 is, and that's exactly what. Before I just speak about that really briefly, right? This comment here is very valid. This accessory-filled figure is priceless for people like myself who won't buy another Bo, Mando, or Heavy, and saves tons of money. Like that is 100%. This is very, very. Although it's besides the okay, you could argue the Anzillions belong with Grogu. You could argue the hover pram belongs with Grogu, but isn't the point of IG-12 now that he is the pram? So you could argue that they still belong with him, but all the other stuff is nothing really to do with IG-12. But I don't think you'll care if you have Bo 1.0, Heavy 1.0, Chrome Mando, and you're not upgrading. You can just buy this, and happy days for those collectors. Very, very relevant. So I suppose it depends what type of person you are, like, or what you have and haven't. For me, I had the Heavy Mando and I sold it, so I'm not going to pick up another Heavy Mando. So those accessories are irrelevant. I'm going to say it. I'm not a big Bo-Katan fan. I'm not against her. I just find she's fine. She's fine. She's grand. Does not blow my mind. She's fine. I know
I'm a Katie Sackhoff fan, really, more than a Bo.
Yeah, look, the actress comes across real cool and stuff like that, and Bo-Katan is cool, but it doesn't I don't always go, can't wait to see what Bo-Katan does next week. It's fine. It's fine. She had some cool stuff, whatever. But I'm never going to buy Bo-Katan, so therefore I don't care. And then the last one as well, with all this, I winced a bit when Mando picked up all that stuff. It's like, hang on a second now, like, aren't you like, you're a Mandalorian, you're like a bounty hunter. The show is about you. I'm not buying this like, oh no, the show can be about anyone. No. We know it's him. So when he picked that stuff up, I was like, what happened to your whistling birds or your knife or your what he has a flamethrower as well, and he has like it is jetpack. What? So suddenly he just lost everything, so they can pick the stuff up so they can sell merchandise. And I know a lot of Star Wars and stuff like that is designed to sell merchandise, but come on, I know we're all on the end of strings, but I don't like to see the strings. Do you know what I mean?
You think that those would come with like a jetpack trooper or something, right? Is that where they came from? I can't even remember. Who did they come from?
There was Moff Gideon's like special troopers, he was calling them, or something like that. Beskar troopers or something. They were. I'm with Alan. They were bad design. I don't particularly like it when mine was trooper.
Yeah, I didn't like them either.
So
I thought the sequence was good though. Sorry, but
no. Do you guys think that maybe this is a way for them to recoup some of the R&D they did on figures they're not going to be releasing? So it's like, we might not see those Gideon troopers, so at least we can sell that shield. I think
you're onto something in terms of like recouping some money that they had to put into designing this figure, because IG-11 is fantastic. I mean, I had the IG-88 from Sideshow. It is a floppy piece of crap, and this is a great figure. And this is you change out the torso, you retool a torso, and you're done. Some new paint, slap some paint on him, and you resold this figure almost exactly as it was the first time out. So I think that's why, we're getting a few. I think you're right, though. I think this is probably recouping some money from the tooling of this figure, because now he's gone. I think he's really gone for good. Who the hell knows, though? Who knows? They'll bring him back as the next ship that he flies or something.
I do like that you can put that Babu Freak in. If I did get this, that's how I'd display it. It's cool that you can put him in the chest instead of Grogu, because you might have a Grogu somewhere else on that particular shelf. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Or 100.
How many Mandalorian figures you bought?
Yeah.
Yeah, just I think at the end of the day it comes down to season 3 wasn't the same standard as season 1 or 2. And I know I can already hear people in my head going, oh no, your expectations was too high. I'm not buying that, I'm sorry. The standard of The Mandalorian was set. The expectation that I think a lot of us had was based on the standard that they set themselves with some of the best piece of Star Wars content we'd seen in a long time in season 1 and 2. So that was the standard, and then it dropped off. And just like, I'm still a fan. Like if you're a favorite basketball team or soccer team or baseball team or rugby team, lose a few games and you decide, no, they're shit, I'm not a fan of them anymore. That makes you a bad fan. Do you mean, you're supposed to stick through it like for thick and thin, really? Like
how long, Shane? Because I've been waiting for like 25 years to come back at least, man. I'm almost done. Look,
I'm a Manchester United fan, and there's been some rough years, So,
not many.
Yeah. There's a good decade now, I think. How long since Ferguson left? It's a long time, but you see my point. After a bad game or two or a bad season, maybe that's a better analogy. You don't just jump ship. So right. I'm still a fan of this. I really hope to do season 4, but it definitely affected my buying habits. Going, look, if I didn't like the source material, I don't know if I can put money behind this, because let's face it, like, we've seen our wish lists, we've seen our pre-order lists. There's a lot of amazing pieces coming out, and like I'll be the first to say, I have a limited space and a limited budget. So then you look at something like this and go, it's not even a consideration, especially considering that the all these accessories for Bow 1.0 and Heavy 1.0 and Chrome Mando, they're pieces I don't have, so they don't affect me. But I 100% see that person's perspective who earlier on in the comment, they had those and they're like, oh, this is gold dust. And they just happened to be in the right place at the right time and had the right figures, So I think that's pretty cool, like, in fairness, like, because it doesn't look bad. I actually liked IG-12. I laughed out loud hard at the yes, no. I was cracking up, and the girlfriend was looking at me going, it's not that funny, and I was like, it is, it's brilliant. Look, now he has a machine. Do you know what I mean? But but
speak
just
and say
just
or
before
whatever.
Just before I send it back to the panel there, there's just on the whole things being created and shoehorned into shows just to sell stuff. Like I mean, we know that's been happening for like decades, but what was the function of IG-12 really? Because it wasn't for him to communicate. Like, yes and no doesn't cut it. It was a transport. He has the hover pram, and now with his Jedi training, he can hop and stuff. So he's, if he didn't need it in season 1, why does he need it now? And then there's also the, was it self-defense? He picked up a mud horn. Like, so it has to be just like, and it didn't really, I know he had that bit in the end.
Take out the Rancor as well at one point. What did he?
Yeah. I think they're leaning towards, like, this is a middle ground for some armor that he's going to get at some point. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be armor that makes him bigger or taller or anything like that, or has robotics, but who knows what they've got in mind. I don't know. This is a weird thing to put together and then throw away in one. I'll
tell you one thing: if he comes out next season in Ed 209, sign me up. And you can put the gargling and stuff.
There you go.
The cooing out through the speaker. Call him G209 or something. Like, absolutely, yeah. I can see it. Someone's going to Photoshop that. Yeah. But,
the thing with all this stuff is you'll be able to pick up. You want that? I like that heavy Mando gun. That'd be kind of cool to have for a shot or something like that. I'll pick it up on the aftermarket. I'm gonna overpay for it, guaranteed, for what it's worth within the milieu of stuff you're getting here. But if that's all you want, or you want those Babu Fricks or whatever they are, will be super expensive. I'm sure though. That is going to cost you $100 right there if it's a set of those. most likely.
So was anyone here like? I'm not hating on this at all. Like, I think for people that have those 3 figures I mentioned earlier on, this could be a no-brainer. I can see how it would be has value. I do like IG-11. I like what they've done here, and I actually really did like, as much as I knew what they were doing, I did like the IG-12, but it's a pass for me. Is anyone here on the panel going, yep, sign me up?
No.
I've just been rearranging things and like looking at stuff like really like, and there's stuff like the the Finn from Force Awakens set that came with the trooper with the what was he called? With the laser like laser thing and the shield. What the hell was that guy? TK. What was
the trooper with the
what was his name? What you know what I'm talking about anyway. He came with the trooper, and I'm like, why did I have that guy? Except that he came in a 2-pack with Finn. Like, I don't need that guy. You know what I mean? So I'm going through a lot of stuff, looking at like this is just ancillary stuff that I just got because you can have it. And this is one of those things that I'm feeling pretty good about. I can say, I don't want this. Yeah.
I think you and I were talking about me the other week, Shane, about companion pieces and stuff. Like this is destined to just be a companion piece, isn't it? Like, no, I don't think anyone's going to set out to have this as like a centerpiece. It's going to complement, Mando or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And with everything else that's coming out, you can't afford to just, a companion piece. Yeah, I might pick that up cheap, or might not pick it up at all. Or I've got IG-11.
And if someone's a die-hard Grogu fan, I mean, this is $360 on site. I think they're doing definitely done 10% off, maybe more on the life-size Grogu. And when the next one comes out, if they do that one with the hover pram, and if that one's still sitting in, the original one's still sitting in stock, and they drop that down, be worth just kicking up the extra few dollars. Might be an extra $75, maybe $100 to get the actual one-to-one life side if you're a die-hard Grogu fan. But look, I think they've done a good job on it. They've tried to add in these accessories to make it more appealing, but definitely not for me. But
Trader, it was Trader.
What was it?
I want to crush
TR8IR or something like that.
Oh, Trader. I'd like a crushed Darksaber in this. That would have been cool too.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes. I flicked through some of the images. I just didn't realize I didn't actually. You got this. I don't know what type of fruit this is. This space fruit.
But, I can't remember what it's called. It's very prevalent in a lot of movies and shows, though. I can't remember what it's called.
It's in Rebels too. That fruit.
Yeah. Yes, Rebels. Yeah.
So here is the extent of his dialogue. I gotta say,
head light up. Does IG-11's head up light up? I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
11's
batteries in.
I think the chest lights up as well. Does it?
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to the chest that you
Yeah.
can swap out in 11. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I like that.
We gotta talk about this here.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
It's great.
Yeah, this little auxiliary, I guess. All right, so Trevor, I'm gonna let you go first there. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think this looks good. It's the same sculpt. It's definitely the same sculpt. You can tell by the brow, but it definitely looks like it's styled. It doesn't look like synthetic hair, although I could be wrong. It just has too much style and too much form for synthetic hair, so I think they're using, the wool again here. I hope, anyway. And I don't know. I mean, what is this going to be? Is this going to be season 3 Bo-Katan that we're not going to see for another 2 years, and then she has another costume change next season or whatever? And I'm not biting on this. I mean, her costume didn't change. I mean, what else are you going to give her? You're going to give her the pauldron, and you're going to give her the shield, and charge me another $270-$80, maybe $300 because it's rooted hair? No. Or
are you do you think this looks good or not?
I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I think it's good. I think I've seen rooted hair versions that people have customizers have done that have looked better than this. But for Hot Toys, this looks pretty good. I mean, there's some, like I said, there's a good cut to it. There's some style to it. So, but this is an easy hair to root because you've got that crown piece there to hide all the actual rooting in the forehead, which is the tricky part of rooting. So I don't know. I would be
I'm a
curious
bit-
to see what they do with this.
I'm not sure if it's the same sculpt because I do see Katie Sackhoff in this, and with the other one, I saw it from some angles. Then again, maybe this is just an angle that looks really like her because I think they got the chin better here, and I wonder if those eyes are
Purrs?
because they're putting that rolling eyes function into everything. I do think it looks a little.
I do think the hair adds
It's
a
a little
lot
better, actually.
to
Yeah,
it.
does.
Yeah, maybe.
Because when you look at a sculpt initially, there's within a split second, your brain either recognizes the person or recognizes it doesn't look like him or something off. Like when I looked at this, I was like, oh yeah, it does look like her. Whereas when I looked at prototype images of the previous bow, I thought, oh, yeah, it looks good from some angles. And I know a lot of people who have in hand say it's significantly better in hand and all that, but this, I don't know, whatever, maybe it's just the angle. Looks pretty good. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, the brow, I thought the brow was the same, but you might be right. The jaw might be different.
Yeah, I have Bo, but she's in a box right now. I wish I had it out to kind of compare, but I look at this and I wouldn't see anything to complain about that head sculpt at all. And I know there was some controversy on the original one. Could just be the angle, and maybe on the original one, that angle looks spot on like that as well. But I think the sculpt looks great. What I would be curious to see with the hair, it's also the part in rooted hair that can look fake, sort of. So I'd be very curious to see how that part looks. You've got the figure there. What do you think?
I'm watching Trevor watch this figure.
Yeah,
I think it's the same. I think the paint is different, and I think it's brighter. I'm just looking at her like at that angle, and this is not going to give you a good. This camera is not going to be great, but it's the same chin. I'm trying to get her at the same angle, but I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I think it's the same.
I think it's the
I
same.
think it's the same. It's just
I think the hair color
is a little brighter.
The hair color definitely throws you off. I think
Hair
with
color
that.
helps a lot.
Yes.
This hair color is terrible on this. It doesn't look like hair.
Yes, I was going to say that. It's the color I wish was different. But this, I wouldn't need to get a second bow in my collection.
Sorry to interrupt, Mike, but as you pointed out before, if this is a tease of an upcoming 2.0, are they not going to give you that little pauldron?
It's weird, right?
Yeah. And if so, why would you bother getting RG12 if you're just going to get it anyway down the line?
Oh, they'll wait until you've already pre-ordered this.
Yeah.
And you're 6 months into it to announce
it.
I'll tell you why. I reckon they are going to give you the pauldron on this. However, you won't get that mouse droid with anything else. You're probably not going to get the mouse droid with R5. It goes with R5. The Heavy Mando 2.0 is already up for pre-order. It doesn't have that overheated gun, so you're not going to get that. And the other bits and pieces, if they release, they're like troopers, if they release those super troopers, whatever they're called,
Troopers.
Yeah.
So basically, they're just casting a wide net to have something in there for as many
Something
people
for
as
everyone.
possible. Yeah.
Crafty.
Yeah, I do think this looks good though. I gotta say, and then I was doing the pre-order preview video of it earlier on for IG12. I mentioned this and I just thought, if it comes out like this and the hair sits like that, I think it looks good. But I thought that I don't know, I'm not an expert on rooted hair, but I just thought when you could see the strands look very thick, I thought that was a sign that it's the nylon stuff. Is it nylon they made the?
Yeah, it's like a synthetic.
Synthetic.
I think though that's nylon, I'm not a hairdresser, but I think that's sort of like those overarching, I don't know if that's what her actual hair looks like in this season. I can't remember, but
right.
They
definitely
looked
longer,
lumped, but it does. You know what? It does kind of look a little thicker than the yak hair, but it may just not be brushed out. I don't know. It could totally be synthetic. I mean, it looks a little shiny too, but they use a lot of product on the wool, so I don't know. I don't know.
Isn't it hard to get synthetic to curl in like that
and
well?
Stay that way.
Yeah,
exactly. With short hair, it's not good with short hair. If you've got hair that's long and hanging like Gamora's, looks great. I mean, they did curl that a little bit in it, but it looks really good. That's the only one I've seen from Hot Toys that looks good with synthetic hair, which I think is why people who collect Hot Toys don't like rooted hair.
This comment is the comment of the night. I was like, this. She looks like she has a massive forehead, but I just realized it's the background. So I'm trying to see
She's got
like
this Bale on her forehead.
Yeah, is it Bale? Is it?
I think
Captain
it's Bale.
America?
Or was it Captain America?
I
There
need,
it is. I
yeah,
think it
Captain
is,
America. We should
You're
like do a
right.
little quiz here, but I should be able to just how do I?
She's got 2 sets of eyebrows.
It's a good thing it wasn't Boba Fett. It looked like it should have Boyle up there. Or something.
Yeah.
There's nice lighting on this shot, though. I think this is selling it. You know, the lighting is really nice on here.
Yeah,
it's just
I think
catching
that's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah,
A little bit
it's
of
nice, that
shadow.
cheek. Yeah.
Yeah, the light coming from behind is nice. Yeah.
Mike Fela says, my Bo-Katan currently has her helmet on since her helmet is badass, but if they release this, yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I wonder, like, our sculptors who spend all this time and effort, and, you know, you have down a passes on, like, a team of people, and then you got the people who are painting them, and then people are rooting, and then they walk into a collection room and everyone's wearing the helmets, and he's wearing the box. They're like, why?
Yeah.
Why
On eBay, they're just looking at the listings.
Why
and
would I
pencils.
bother?
Like,
So much time on this.
Yeah.
It's my whole summer.
Right, so yeah, I just want to. Is there anything else? I was seeing if there's any other kind of anything I skipped there, but yeah, there's the Mandalorian. I don't know if it's the same.
I was looking at the flight suit and I was like, is that a different color? Is it like a brown flight suit, or is it just the?
That's the chromed version, right? Is it?
Yeah, it looks
it's
like
dirtier though, right?
they've
Are they going
doubled
to give us
down.
actually a weathered chromed version now at this point?
Oh my God.
I think maybe you're just
When does it
used to
end?
seeing all those photos that pop up on Instagram from people after using alcohol to get rid of all the weather.
It looks too weathered though. It looks more weathered than mine looks. Yeah.
This thing here, maybe this is the Irish in me, but is this actually a pot of gold? Like what? What
like
is
popcorn.
this?
I
Is
don't
it
remember
is
that.
it popcorn he was eating? Was it?
I think it's that popcorn that they also sell in the parks, and they've also eaten in the shows. It's and I'm not. I wish I was joking.
Synergy.
Yeah, it's a cross promotion thing.
Everything's-
But how about that droid in the
cross-promotion.
back?
Is
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's, I forget the name of that droid, but it's just cool that
Oh, this one
they
here.
had that in. Yeah, that's the most exciting thing of this release and announcement to me. And I don't mean
Is
to be
this
offensive to anyone.
sail barge? The guy who says
Yeah.
he gives
In
the
charge of the
jobs
droids,
to R2 and stuff like that. Yeah,
That'd be sick.
you know what? They could release that and brand it Return of the Jedi 40.
Totally.
But
Hey, one quick question.
remember them?
Did they?
Yeah, remember Return of the Jedi? Yeah, I remember that.
Remember
yeah.
that was a thing for a while.
Remember that? Did they say in the notes that you're getting 3 of the Babu Freak characters? Because that was what was annoying about the R5 pack for me. You only get 1 pit droid. And
Yeah.
I have
Look, there's
3 of
3 of them
I
there.
don't want 1 of them. So yeah, but they
Yeah,
showed
3.
3 in that R5 promotional pictures too.
No, I
which
think
is-
you're getting the 3. Well, this fella has no mustache.
Well, these are all
This
different.
they're all
guy has a
Yeah, they're
little.
all- Good call.
He's shaved just down the center. See, look, they're shaving now. This is exactly what they're doing. They're not working at all.
Yeah.
And this guy seems to has the full mustache. But if you
I
go
appreciate
to,
that you get all 3 of them.
and they're,
all
yeah, they're a bit different as well.
shirtless, too. It's so
That
funny.
looks bloody good there.
Yeah,
there
it
it
looks
is.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might have
Really
missed
good.
this shot.
Yeah.
it does look good.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen him off Gideon with the
Well, that's the other thing.
new
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah.
Very
Did you hear
surprised.
my story from yesterday, Alan, by any chance?
No. Which
Alright,
one?
don't tell him. Mike knows where I'm going with this. Trevor, were you watching the Ben Thomas show last night?
I was not. Nope.
Okay, Mike, you were, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay, I got to tell the story. This will take 2 minutes. So like, so yesterday, myself and Megan, we went in. She got us tickets to see West Side Story in Dublin City Centre. This really nice theatre called the Board Gosh Energy Theatre, and it's in the middle of Dublin, and it's like at a place called Grand Canal Docks. So there's like a really really nice seating area, and there's cafes and bars and restaurants everywhere, and it's coffee shops and stuff like this, and it's like just like docks and stuff. There's like I think there's people wakeboard and stuff inside. It's really nice, and the sun was shining. It's a great day. So the tickets were like the show started at 2:30, but we had like brunch booked for 1:00, right? So we're sitting there. We were in there a bit earlier, sitting there about 12:30, and we're just chatting. We're just sitting on these benches, just kind of watching the world go by. Now, obviously, she's paying more attention than me, and she goes, isn't that the guy from Star Wars? And I was like, she's winding me up. So I turned and I was like, that does look like the guy from Star Wars. Now, I'd already had an espresso, but suddenly I was like, I was looking at him, I was like, I'm not going chasing after this fella. But if he goes into that coffee shop that I think he's going into, I am getting myself a coffee. So himself and the person he was with, they went in and they ordered. Now, it was unusually quiet, right? Because, you know, it was like 12:30. Like, Dublin's usually buzzing most times. So I walk over, get into the queue. No one's around. Like, they've just ordered, and I ordered myself an espresso or whatever. And I turn to my right and I'm looking, and he's just putting sugar into the coffee he just ordered.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't want to be intrusive, but I was like, this is literally a once in a lifetime chance. And I just said, excuse me. And he stopped and he turned and I said, you're Giancarlo Esposito, aren't you? And he said, yes. And I said, I'm a big fan of your work. And he said, thank you very much. And that was it. That was it.
Fuck
so, like,
off.
yeah,
Really?
I swear to God. I was sitting there and I was like, Megan, you're winding me up. Like, it's like her hearing is like class. Whereas like my eyesight is like 20/20, and like she wears glasses, but my hearing is like, I don't know if it's from playing in bands or what is, but it's not like 100% not as good as her. She'd hear the grass grow. So she said, no, the voice is unmistakable. I heard the voice because it sounded like him, and I turned, and then when she's like, that's him. I was like, God, that is him.
That's amazing.
But like he was very I'll say, I'm going to use the exact same joke and say the same thing I said last night in a Ben Thomas show. He answered me with such a like, I didn't want to annoy him because look, it was Father's Day. I don't know the person who's with, maybe his daughter. I don't know, but I didn't want to like, will you give me your autograph or let's hug or you know. So I would have loved to have got a photo. Yeah, I would have loved to have got a photo, but I was like, I didn't want to I felt intrusive enough.
You're one of the good ones, Shane.
I don't know, but like I wanted a photo, but I was like, no, just there's too much.
Oh,
so,
man, that's amazing.
But the funny thing, he when I was like, you know, excuse me, you're Giancarlo Esposito, aren't you? And he just said yes. And then the second thing is like, I'm a big fan of your work. I said thank you, but he said it with a tone that Gustavo Fring would speak to. Would speak to Bryan Cranston, like, and I was like, he fucking knows I'm a chemistry teacher and he's sick of us all, you know? so
with a little raised eyebrow.
I love that.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm moving away. You know, there had to been a box cutter. There had been a box cutter within like a 200 meter radius. So yeah,
that's
that
brilliant.
was and I was just like, yeah, I wouldn't know if Megan hadn't said anything. He would just walk behind me. You wouldn't know, like, how many other times in your life have you been in, like, New York or London, and people just
like there's my friend sent me or did I see it on Instagram, like basically like a Liverpool kind of centric Instagram account, and it was John Cena in a gym, and everyone's kicking off, and I was like, what? John Cena in Liverpool. And he is, you know, it's come out that he's filming with who was it? I can't remember. He's with someone else, Idris Elba, I think, actually, possibly. What was it? I don't know. But yeah, he's just kind of stomping around in Liverpool. But apparently, like he left his hotel and just said, "Where's the nearest gym?" And just popped into the nearest like gym.
It's pretty cool.
So all these like cell phone videos came out, and I was like, "Shit!"
Everyone was crowding around him then because he was using all the weights, like.
Give me more.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, I think you handled that really well, personally, because you know, he must expect that people are going to recognize him. But I think if you go up and say, "Your work's great," and then just bounce, like, I think he appreciates that.
I'm not going to lie. Like, I would have loved to have a photo, but like he was with someone. I was thinking, I don't know, that could be his daughter, man. Like, you know, I don't know. It was Father's Day, and you know, it was kind of like I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be intrusive, but the tone that was like when he said yes, it wasn't like it wasn't rude or anything. It was just like stating the fact. Yes, I am
yes.
he. And I was like, yeah, maybe don't ask for that photo. Rude.
I've only done the photo request once, and it was with the guitarist from Pearl Jam, and it was. He loved it because no one recognizes him. So he's like, yeah, let's take a photo. But that was the only time I've ever done that. But Shane, speaking of synergy, I asked my wife, hey, honey, can you bring me a beer? This is a New Jersey beer, and it's called the
One
Working
second,
Man's...
I got to put your full screen. Go on, yeah.
The Working Man's Dublin Porter.
Wait.
So that's
Ah, nice.
total coincidence.
Nice.
Represent.
And what type of beer
Lots
is
of
it? Is it a
good words in
lager or
there.
a pale ale or an IPA or
Yeah. Oh, this is
what type of beer is it?
it's a porter with.
I see.
It's not that. I shouldn't say it's not that great. It's Tom's River Brewing Company. It's fantastic.
That was the
My
correct thing
first
to
time
say.
trying this. I don't know. It just happened to be in the fridge.
Listen,
It's pretty
I don't like all of the beers from all of the microbreweries. Slowly make my way through them, but yeah, I definitely there's a hit and miss a lot of them. But
It's actually not
Mike
Speaking,
Fayetta-
tying Giancarlo into what we were talking about earlier with Superwoman, I really want him to be Professor X. I really want him to be Professor X. Totally. He'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So the I suppose we got onto the main topic then. I'll just get rid of this 1 second. Really quickly, I'm just going to go through a few the new videos. I've been busy over the last few weeks, as in busy making content, not just busy not making content. But so just going to fly through these. So review on the T800 DX13 Terminator from Terminator 2. Absolutely love it. The DX23, again, just two banger figures. My thoughts on Loki, the Flash, the in-art Superman, just the boots. Yeah, shit collector safe. I just love making these videos, and sometimes the odd time I get a little salty comment, and it was like, dude, I literally say 60% of the stuff here, so 60% of this video is just me making fun of myself. Like, Nebula, I put this is actually full on spoiler review. It's about 10 minutes long. Don't watch that unless you have seen Flash and you're curious to know my thoughts. And then just thoughts on this IG-11 now. So all right, so we're just gonna, so I've seen it, Mike's seen it, but I'm conscious that Alan and Trevor haven't, and there's probably people in the chat who maybe haven't. So if people in the chat want to let us know, just give us a thumbs up if you've seen it, thumbs down if you haven't, but there won't be any spoilers. So Alan and Trevor, I know you haven't seen it, but like, have you had this movie spoiled for you already?
Certain parts.
Nope.
No?
No.
Somehow I watch YouTube constantly, and somehow I have avoided everything. I don't know if I'm just not tuned into the right channels that are spoiling things, but I know I watch a lot of the new movie review things. But yeah, so far I haven't had anything there. I haven't had anything Into the Spider-Verse, which I hopefully will see this week too. Yeah, I usually make it through, man. I don't know how I do it, but
Cool.
Wow.
unless it's a visual thing that
That's-
I can't
yeah.
see, then sometimes that happens. But I not on this one.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. Go on. No, I asked you.
I have had certain things spoiled. My brother came round on Saturday, and he was half pissed, like he'd had a few beers. So we were kind of talking about certain things, and he was like, "Oh, I've seen the end. I'm not going to say it. I've seen the end credit sequence," and he was telling me, and I was like, "Oh, cool." He said, "Do you want to see it?" He just got it up on his YouTube, and he was like, "Show me it," and I was like, Right, okay. So I've seen that, but I am trying to avoid spoilers in general, and I have heard other things, but I'm like, okay, well, I've heard that. There's more.
Yeah,
I've heard that. There's more. I've probably had everything spoiled for me at this point, but I'm trying to stay as fresh as possible. It's probably not going to last though.
No, you've done well. Mike, could you give us like your either score out of 10 or stars out of 5, whichever you prefer, and maybe just give us some, if you can without spoiling, your overall impressions, things you liked about the movies and things you didn't like about the movie. Again, like if something you liked or disliked is a major spoiler, maybe just omit that out of respect for the panel and people in the chat.
Well, in the genre of superhero movie, I'll give it a 7.
Wow.
And I will say that I don't think there's really, if you've heard about spoilers, I don't think anything's been spoiled, so to speak, because I can kind of guess at what spoilers people have heard, and I will just say that it won't ruin the movie for you. But what? All right, let me start over.
They did that all by themselves, didn't they?
Yeah, that's the thing. The director actually spoiled some of the some things. So I'm being cautious with what I said, because maybe there are some people who have really kept their head down and not gotten anything. I'll start off by saying that the CGI took me out of it, unfortunately. And I'm not someone who is like demands the highest quality. I can overlook things with CGI sometimes, but man, there were moments where it looked like poorly animated, like PlayStation 2 graphics. And there's an opening sequence that I just thought for me just did not work at all. And it set the film up on sort of a goofy tone that didn't work. Keaton is fantastic. Keaton, I think, is great. There was, again, I can't talk about it till we get to spoilers at some point, but they did a good job, and they did a great job kind of connecting him to how we remember him in his appearance in his films, especially the first film. I thought, I'm not a big fan of, and I'm keeping aside Ezra Miller, the person. I'm just talking about his portrayal as Barry Allen. I've never been a huge fan of his Barry Allen portrayal, besides the Snyder Cut. And so what I thought was, when you first see him, it's like the Joss Barry Allen. But then he becomes the Snyder Cut Barry Allen, and I was very happy to see that, because I thought he did him justice in that film rather than what Joss Whedon did with him. Do you feel that way, Shane? Like,
No.
Okay. Because I find him extremely annoying in the Justice League Joss Whedon cut.
Yeah.
Okay? Much less annoying in the Snyder Cut.
Slightly.
Now, the first hour of the film, I was like, get me out of here. What is going on? Because this is not a spoiler. We know this. There's two of him. So it's like, they're going to take what I think is the most annoying character in the Justice League and double him.
Double it.
Ugh. But after that first act, it really picked up for me. I walked out of there. I went in there to see Keaton. I paid my $22 IMAX ticket to see Michael Keaton as Batman again, and I got that. So for me to complain about it, it's like I went in getting what I wanted out of it. So I was happy with it. It's not a terrible movie. Narratively, it makes sense. There's no, when I first watched BVS, I was like, this movie doesn't even make sense. And then you watch the extended cut and you're like, okay, now it makes more sense. It didn't have those problems for me. I thought they did a really new take on the multiverse concept, which, by the way, I'm done with it. No more multiverse for a while. Can we move on from this concept in all franchises, please? But this was a slightly fresh take on the technical workings of a multiverse. So I appreciated that. And then I thought Supergirl, what she was given, she did a wonderful job. There are other things that I cannot get into that I'm dying to, but we'll leave it at that for now, Shane. I think.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, good job too. I heard. There's nothing they don't know from the trailers anyway. So
I saw some comment today about the CGI that they were purposefully. The director or somebody said, "Oh no, something was supposed to be purposely bad. It was an effect that we were going for." Like,
what an insult to you! What an insult!
You know when you do a bad job.
Yeah,
No. That wall's supposed to be crooked. No, we wanted it.
You tell your mom or something, like when your kid's like, no, that's just my style of loading the dishwasher. Exactly. It washes better. Like, come on, like that's. I think that's.
And specifically, I'm not buying that. And it doesn't make sense. He's like, well, this is how Barry sees things in the Speed Force. I'm like, well, it should be the opposite. He should see things as extremely ultra HD in the Speed Force. And
see things in low budget?
Yeah, I know what.
Like they had like 220 million, I think.
I see low res people.
That's good. It's good. This is The Flash, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. What? God, where do I start?
What's your rating?
The rating, I'm more of a stars person. I try not to give half stars. I try to pick a side, but I give it 3 stars out of 5. I give it 6 out of 10. I don't think this is a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. And I'm not a fan of the DC. But Keaton is the best thing about this movie. And he's worth at least 1, if not 2 of those stars. Okay? So
that's what gave it a 7 for me.
Kind of expected it.
I would have gone 6, 5 without him.
if you take him out of it, it's okay. Just a benchmark. Okay, if Shawshank Redemption is a 5-star movie, if Terminator 2 is a 5-star movie, if the first Matrix film is a 5-star movie, and if Black Adam is a 1-star movie, I haven't really liked Black Adam, then I think putting this as a 3-star movie is apt. But without Keaton, I think it drops down to 2. I just, yeah.
Easy.
Keaton was solid. Now, there's other things I'd like to say and expand on that, but again, I don't want to ruin anything. Like, I'd still watch, if I want to see Keaton, I'm going to watch 89 or 92 any day of the week over this. You could probably save your money and
or even Birdman.
Wait for a few months and just find the inevitable edit on YouTube, which is like all Keaton's bits in one.
All Keaton scenes.
Right.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But you won't see the big screen. Then you know you know what? It's not a bad movie. I think it's okay, and it's a good day out, and it's fun. I was never bored, and I will say that I agree with Mike. Sasha Calle, what she did, she looks the part, she acts the part. There was no, I didn't cringe once watching her or anything like that. She was very good. And who else? I thought Ezra Miller did a bang up job as Barry Allen. I know a lot of people say he's miscast and he doesn't look like him, and I've seen some of the source material, and I've watched Flashpoint in preparation for this, and I get he doesn't look like whatever, like, but like he when he's Barry Allen, he's a very good actor. There's some poignant moments in this, and I know there's a lot going on, and he's been accused of some terrible things, but in terms of his acting, I think he definitely did. I think he did a good job. But as soon as he puts on the suit, man, CGI kicks in. It just loses me. Like you've seen all the other movies up to this, Alan and Trevor, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the dude running, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Does that improve or not?
No, God no. Like, I'm just wondering. Like, it's like. People kind of say like, but like it's the story is the most important. It's like, yeah, fine, I totally get that. It's story first and action and effects second, And with this, it's like the story is fine, but is it really anything we haven't seen before?
No, it's something we've seen better in the Flashpoint Paradox, the animated film.
Yeah.
There were more interesting things. There were just as many or more poignant moments, I felt like, in the animated film at the end. So just they have a blueprint, and the directions they took it wasn't better, in my opinion. It was different directions from Flashpoint Paradox were lesser interesting choices, in my opinion.
I agree, and I think this movie suffers from the same DCEU tropes. Shoddy CGI, a lack of planning, and they had time. A lack of planning.
Extra time.
I can't really say the third one. I don't think. Like, I can't. I don't.
I have a third one for you, Shane. It's a lame duck. It's a lame duck film. Yeah, it's a lame duck film. Like, and it suffers from that, in my opinion, too.
Yeah.
Just like Marvel for me.
You're not invested in it, and it didn't do well, right? At the box office, I guess.
Got held back, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this film, technically, I think we can already categorize it as a bomb. It's going to have a drop-off in the second week that I think is going to be pretty bad because, people like us are not running around and saying, this is amazing and telling all our friends.
No.
And so I don't think it's going to have great word of mouth.
People who went to see
like
Keaton,
we did with
who grew up
Spider-Verse.
in this age group, went to go to see it, and then that's pretty much all the only people who are interested in it, I think.
If you're under 35 years old, do you give a crap? Or maybe even under 40?
No.
Do you really care about Michael Keaton?
No. Chances are not. A few, but like not the majority of people that even saw the movie. You know what I mean? Like, no, not that. It's nostalgia
I'll tell you this.
for us.
I like to nostalgia. I nostalgia. It's right, but I think it's more than nostalgia though. With maybe that's us being completely biased because it is nostalgia. But you go back and watch the movies, I still think they hold up. Now you definitely. The bits that don't, you shove the nostalgia in there, and you kind of like, you get it over the line. But there's some beautiful parts of those two movies, particularly the first one. But yeah, I think Trevor's right. Do people under 35 really care about Keaton? And I like to keep myself honest. And I went back and I was like, okay, I remember being very cautious filming my when I filmed the pre-order preview videos. I like to kind of go, okay, this is a big hype moment. It's just been announced. You've just watched the show or the movie. Are you actually going to get this? And I like to get that right as much as I can, and I think, like, say, I know, like, Lael was probably expecting me, like, to go, oh, you're definitely getting that modern suit, aren't you? You're definitely, when I come on to Collector's Lounge, I was like, oh, it depends on the movie. And I went back and just had a look at the video, and it's like 5 minutes and 25, and sure enough, I'm like, I think a lot of my collector friends are going to be expecting me to get this and, dope with it or whatever, or at least order it at some point. But I'm going to wait and see the movie.
Yeah.
And having seen the movie now, and a few weeks ago I made a comment on Collector's Lounge saying, I think I'm going to get through this movie unscathed.
Mm.
The only thing I'll even consider ordering is that Michael Keaton 71-year-old. But I am still not committing to it. When I think of Keaton, I think 1989.
Yeah.
And I think I will, until the day I die, that'll be it. I don't think that's ever going to change. And that is probably 100% nostalgia.
I think that's going to happen with, and I'm going to two things like on this. Like, it's amazing how much hype there was. Like, reviewers, regular reviewers came out of this, seeing the preview way back at like CinemaCon and saying, wow, this is fantastic. And other people, like, they're quoting other people saying it's one of the greatest superheroes
James Gunn
made.
James Gunn came out pretty strong.
James Gunn said that. Exactly.
Best
superhero movie ever.
And it's not as if he is a vested interest or conflict of interest now.
He's in a bit of
he's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
But like going into Indiana Jones, like I've heard some not so great things about it, and I think I'm just going to go into it. I want it to be better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I know it's not going to. At this point, after having gone through Star Wars, and Star Wars was kind of the first thing that had happened, like, well, we're going to see the sequels, not the prequels so much, which I didn't care for, but like, I'm going to see my old heroes again. You know what it's like? Like, yeah, you just sit back and enjoy it for what it is, because it's never going to bring you back to that feeling that you had when you saw those original movies at the age you were. It was not going to happen. And I'm not sure, like you said, Shane, with buying a 71-year-old Michael Keaton Batman, I don't know if I'd buy a 80-something-year-old Harrison Ford Indiana Jones at this point figure. I'm not.
But
really
Trevor,
sure. I mean, I'll have to see the movie, but I don't.
You're in it for the inevitable flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They'll do the younger.
I want reissues, but I've got a great Indiana Jones.
Re-Indy.
I'm good.
Re-Indy.
Yeah, re-Indy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I'll say that I ordered this figure day one.
Oh, you did?
The modern suit, and I said, even if I hate this film, I like the idea of this, older alternate version. I look at it as like Wolverine and Old Man Logan. Wolverine and Old Man Logan. Those are not competing figures, in my opinion. They can exist on their own, and that's how I feel about this character still, even after seeing the film.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that. I can still see feeling that way too.
Yeah. And like, again, it is. There's no doubt. I actually am in the camp of that head sculpt. Looks great. Looks fantastic. It's very strong, and I think it would benefit from a little bit of softening, because it kind of made him very, very particularly wrinkly. Like, but
and a raised eyebrow.
I still may get it. I'm not.
Should have more of the eyebrow.
I'm not. Yeah. Trevor's. Yeah, I remember actually. Yeah, when I went to send you the link for today, I was looking at the photos you sent me. I was like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah, that was the last thing I said.
But I think I can't say with certainty that I won't, but I'm leaning towards just getting through the Flash unscathed, like, but because I got the 89 Batmobile and the 89 2.0 Keaton coming, and that could be sorted, because it's like
when you say definitive version.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I think that's probably a great use of actually a definitive version.
Yeah.
Something you touched on there, Trevor. Like a lot. Okay, think about this now, right? Like we're in this kind of era for the last few years where TV shows and movies are trying to bring, say, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s or whatever, back into the cinema for their old heroes, or the kind of rebooted versions of their old heroes, but actually having that actor or CGI likeness of that actor, so that they would bring their young kids to the cinema. Oh, you remember the movie? Watch those movies. Well, they're making another one now. But there's some young kids in the movie that will launch the next generation things. For example, Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was a good movie. And I thought they did really well at kind of bringing in the old and still
They did a great
kind
job.
of almost handing it off. I thought it was really good. We've seen it.
Rare.
It's very rare. But we've seen it with the, obviously, No Way Home. I thought No Way Home did it great because it didn't just go, here's Andrew, here's Toby, remember you love them. But they gave them roles. Andrew got a redemption. He never got his third movie. Gwen was dead because of him. He saves MJ. Come on, like that. If that doesn't get you in the field, you made a stone.
No, it was
and then
great.
Toby got
They
to
made
be
it
the
work.
wise, guide. Like that was done right.
Yeah.
When they brought Luke back in Mandalorian season 2, I thought they nailed that as well.
That was beautiful. That gave me that feel like
Yeah.
I wanted. I
Yeah.
wanted that in the first
Exactly.
end season of The Mandalorian. And I got up out of my seat and I'm
I
like,
was just
oh
gonna
my
say-
God. And then I went,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. Hey, that's cool. It's cool. But it's
Take
like something off, man.
I was going to
And then
ask how many of you stood up during that.
Yeah,
moment.
totally. I was out of my seat, man. And then Boba Fett, I was just like wrapped. I'm like, oh my God, they did it. This is it. This is Luke, and he's meeting Ahsoka, and oh my God, this is incredible. I loved it. That was great.
Yeah.
They did it. But
But
one of the things I don't know.
You're
If you,
managing.
go ahead, Shane.
Go on. You're managing your expectations though with indie, because we know that we're in this zone of like the producers and everyone and the studios of like, what sells? Fucking nostalgia. They eat that shit up. Nom, 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 nom. So like they're doing all this stuff, yeah. But a lot of time it doesn't land. So with indie coming up, I think that's probably a good.
It's going to be interesting
maybe
because like
check yourself.
Yeah, and one of the things it's not 1/6, but it's Hasbro. I just like they came out with something like they said they're relying on that 35 to 48, 50, whatever that I'm just out of range of kids of adults to buy these action figure lines, which I was surprised. Like I didn't think they really cared that was going to be 50% of their profit of their gross profit, right? That was surprising to me because I thought that like action figures were kind of going down, and they were like, yeah, action figures, whatever, that's a nice little thing, but we got other stuff going on. But I guess it's a big part of their offering, and like you got companies like Hot Toys and all these other companies. I mean, George Lucas made his fortune on merchandising, right? Yep. You got to keep this shit alive because this is what we're buying. These are the people in this age group. They're buying the Turtles. They're buying G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? Kids aren't buying toys. They're not buying stuff. You know what I mean? They're doing virtual stuff. They're collecting.
My kids
collecting
buying
NFTs. They're just
skins.
playing video games, maybe at the most.
my eldest kid, my
Skins
eldest
and wins, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
TikTok
Yeah,
skins and
yeah,
wins.
yeah.
when I was my eldest lad's age, I was getting like all sorts of action figures, like Jurassic Park. My kid doesn't like that. He just collects random shit. You know what I mean? Like he watches YouTubers and not
Yeah,
not
who watches YouTubers? That's disgusting.
not cool people like us. But he's into Prime fucking and Prime drinks and stuff. I've seen all that shit.
Yeah.
Wait,
Clothing and cards and stuff like. I mean, trading cards kind of came out, I guess, because of the Pokemon and stuff like that. But that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
but
there's
he
really
just-
not a lot of merchandise anymore.
Yeah,
It's all on their phone. It's all electronic. It's all experiential, which I can't say like, hey, good for them, man. They're not as materialistic as we are, but like, it's not good for these companies. To not
We just gotta admit it. We are those guys. Get off of my lawn.
yeah.
we
I think that's as good a place as any to to end it, folks. But yeah. Do anyone else want to plug anything I got coming up?
No, can I just plug this real quick?
Ooh.
Oh, you picked up the KX. Did you go into a physical mom and pop store today and buy that?
I did. So I went to Toy Wiz, which is in Nanuet, New York. It's under an hour from Manhattan. It is awesome. Shane, I sent you those pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
And because I ordered from them online, like not knowing anything about them, and a little bit nervous because I'm like, oh, this is a store that I have no idea, online shop, and they fulfilled online orders. So I drove to the store, which is about an hour from me. It is awesome. So if you're in that area, Nanuet, Toy Wiz is
I'm probably not
awesome.
an hour away from that myself. Cool.
Yeah, very cool people
Good
there.
stuff.
So yeah, and they called me today. They're like, hey, your droid arrived. I was like, yes. So
Excellent.
I just wanted
Good stuff.
to say that. When you find a good shop, you want to, I don't care to let people know. I think I should let
No,
people know.
you're right.
Oh yeah.
You're right. But anyway, thanks very much for coming on, Mike, and I hope you enjoy the KX Enforcer. So,
Thanks.
Alan, is there any coming up on your Instagram or YouTube?
Nothing that I could, tell you. It just happens kind of in the moment. Just keep your eye on it, and if you like them, give me. I did notice the last couple of images. Not that I'm in it for the likes or whatever, but like I posted a picture of Paul, the Org Toys Paul.
Oh yeah.
Atreides.
Atreides? Yeah.
Nobody saw that. that post went nowhere.
That's what happens when I used to
Absolutely
post
not.
Star Trek pictures too, man. It's all about the character.
It's crazy. Like
Yes.
I was like,
They just
wow,
do nothing. Yeah. Not to mention
went
Instagram
nowhere.
is just a bitch now, so
it really is.
Yeah, I'll go
But,
like
yeah.
it because I didn't see that.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't fishing for likes, by the way. I was just.
No, but I want to see. I can't wait for that figure to come in, and I can't.
It's
wait.
really cool, man. I quite like it.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'll post stuff as and when.
You basically when the creativity.
Yes,
Take
like I took a picture of Deadpool. I don't know if you saw it the other day. with
I
the,
loved it. Yeah.
I heard a piece of music, and it just blew. I was like, oh, I know what to do. I heard that particular piece of music, and I was minding the kids on Saturday because my wife was in work upstairs and took this image. I just got captured by the
That's how it happens.
the inspiration. I just had to let it happen.
I see it now. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Man.
What I want everyone to do is to like bomb Alan's Instagram. So at the 6 Scale Gallery on Instagram, and just do that thing where like.
Get that
Yeah.
get
'cause
that
I'm
Paul
expecting-
Atreides picture up.
Thank you.
Like make that his most popular picture.
That's beautiful.
Please. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to see later on Alan's stories, just those screenshots of the one guy who's liked everything and he's giving them the shout.
Oh man, yeah, that's beautiful, man. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So,
Thanks, guys.
And, Trevor, 1/6 shooter. What's coming up? Are you doing a 6-pack?
Got a six-pack this Friday, so we're going to be talking about all this nonsense again. I'll be getting angry all over again about the Bo-Katan. So tune in for that. What else? New videos. I've been doing news videos in the morning. I did one this morning about the Bo-Katan and the IG-12. And what else? Yeah, I mean, I am 36 people away, I believe, from 2,000. So, if you have any interest in 1/6 or Mythic Legions, we do Legions Lounge every other Monday, or toy photography. Lots of tutorials up there. Just come on over and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your parents. Whatever.
Burner accounts.
They're
burner
probably my
accounts are
age, so
accepted.
get them over here. Yeah, exactly.
Burner accounts accepted. So that's if you haven't done so already, follow 1/6 Shooter on YouTube and at 1/6_shooter on Instagram. All right, I'm just going to go through a few streams that are live. So you've been watching episode 8 of The Hope Show, and all the episodes 1 to 8 are live on the channel now. And upcoming streams, this is one I've been meaning to do this for the last few weeks now at this stage. I'm going to do this during the week, just updated wish list, show you some things that have been moved in and out of the wish list. These are figures that I haven't actually pre-ordered yet, but they are, like I said, they're on the radar. And we've done all this. And yeah, I'm going to leave address in the comments now. I think I'm pretty much done. So yeah, that's us done. So again, massive shout out to the panel members for taking the time out. Do appreciate it. Anyone here who's taken time to watch any videos, like any video, subscribe to the channel, ask a question, comment on a video, it is all very much appreciated. And of course, a huge shout out to the channel members, troopers and commanders. That's us done. So I'm gonna make sure I get the actual right outro this time. I'm ready to go. Here we go. See you folks.